Hey, fine then. Welcome to Phoenix Wright, everybody. Bossrosslp here. Did I just change up my intro? God, it's been 5 years and I finally did it. It's more like 6. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. Actually, how many years has it been? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Is it going to be 7 years? Jesus fucking Christ, I'm old. Begin your testimony, Mr. Your testicle-mony, Mr. Begin your testicle-mony. In the last session of Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, we were doing pretty well. Let's hope that continues. We are pretty much trying to convince the whole court that, unfortunately, good buddy here was involved somehow in this ultimate scheme brought on by the Tigre and disposed Violetta. In terms of involvement, I guess he's on a higher pedestal than Violetta even. Though, now, I'd say he's about the same level as Violetta. And then the Tigre is the whole new level of douchebaggery.
It is true. I laid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me.
You were forced? By who?
I cannot say. Lord Farquaad, he huffed, he puffed, and he sent us an eviction notice.
Alright, no, I can't. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elg died, was he really the only person at his table?
There was... There was another man.
I knew it! Maggie was telling the truth! Oh no, Woody was telling the truth! Alright, stop it with them fucking memes, Ross. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. This is one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Let's go jail courtyard on this guy. Actually, it's more like jail shower room. Prison shower room, more like it. Let's increase the intensity. It is true, I laid that body in the kitchen. Did you carry the body by yourself?
Oui, I carried him. And I carried Maggie, too.
Damn. Maggie, too?
When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. I could not leave her there.
But why did you hide the bodies? The man forced me to do it. What man? Who was he?
No, I cannot say. I fear for my life.
He's really scared. You just have to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Yeah, you're right. If you won't tell me, I'll tell him. But why would you go along with this man? I had to go along with him because there was a reason. And what was this reason? And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong? Perhaps your $500,000 fucking debt?
You know, monsieur.
Yes.
Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment.
A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without re-establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it with evidence. But I did not kill him. So you are claiming that all you did was hide the bodies, is that correct?
Oui, that's right.
If we are to believe you, Mr. Armstrong, you must tell the court everything. You must make clear the identity of the man who ordered you to do this. We can put you in a holding cell so they won't fucking kill you, you idiot. He's already confessed this much. You might as well stop dancing around the real issue. Yeah, but he really doesn't want to tell us who the killer is. Then sock it to him, Nick. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Just give me a good dialogue for it then. So do I just have to start feeding him shit? Like, that's not a contradiction. Am I supposed to be finding contradictions here, or am I just supposed to be socking it to him, as she put it? Let's try pressing these again. Let's hear. Okay. Well, I want to start pressing things. But if I'm going to start pressing things, I'm going to have to start pressing stuff that isn't contradictory and is more pressing stuff that's, like, literally feeding what he's saying. He refuses to say who the man was. He's not going to say who the man is. But the reason why he couldn't refuse, he'd probably be a little bit more willing to go into detail about that. And if he goes into detail about that, then we can bring it back to Tenderlander. So... there was a reason he couldn't refuse. Let's give it a try. Alright, beating him. You have $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is that true, Mr. Armstrong?
Oui, je suis désolé. I was weak and I borrowed the money.
This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why he couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. Oh, come on. Now you're just making it too easy. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? Did you? Did you? Did you? That's why you're forced to do anything this man told you.
Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong.
La Tigre, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. Whatever. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison in the lottery ticket was recovered from the defendant's apron pockets. Was that your doing as well?
No, I know nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who did it. I was not. It is despicable.
Mr. Gatto. My gavel's waiting if you have the coffee ready. Ah, fuck it. He will summon this Furio Tigre as witness. I doubt this can be arranged today, so he will join for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. Unless he enters the door right now. Never mind. 30 minutes. Oh, I wanted to get lunch. The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, try it. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your quest is granted, Mr. Gatto. We'll resume once Mr. Tigre is returned to stand. Until then, course is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. God, I hope I can get the lunch special that ton of fucking shit, man. Where's my Dr. Pepper at? Well, that was painless. We did pretty fucking well there. That was a perfect. God damn, I swear I did not use a walkthrough for that. Holy shit. The hard part was definitely that, the third one I had to present, like the, or was it the fourth one? I don't remember. It was the one where I had to present about the, not the, no, what the hell am I thinking of? The fucking, Oh, the area, the kitchen, where he hid the bodies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or specifically where he hit Glen Elg. Anyway. So we're finally going to see the Tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the Tiger told him to do. But Gatto picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know. If that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that if we don't have the cross-examination evidence, I have the feeling that we don't have the evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal. Oh, shit. Detective Gumshoe! What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Topknot. It's not a topknot! Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. Can I get something to go deliver to a different area so I can go crash into a street pole or something? Ugh. No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, I'm gonna go get lunch. Hey, I'm not just gonna take a jog back down to the... I'm gonna take it... No, he is gonna take a jog down to the precinct. Cool. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a real decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprints analysis done in an hour. You bet! In that case, would you mind checking the prints out on this for me? Yeah, we already did this, so go ahead. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey, that's the small bottle I gave you back this morning, right? Yeah, I don't want it anymore. It fucking ruins my menu layout. I want to have 3 full menus, not 3 and 1 little dinky menu set up for the fucking bottle. Yeah, I think it's time we solve the mystery of whose prints this belonged to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me, too. Alright, Gumshoe, come back with it. Don't bring it back in fucking a trench coat this time, carried by an 18-year-old German girl. Okay, I'll get this thing off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Me's jogging this time, so he's less likely to get hit by a fucking pole. This is the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. The phonies from the Holden Caulfield, I guess? I fucking hate phonies. Here's Udgy. Where's El Tigre? Court will now reconvene. Mr. Gatto, did you find Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job. No problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. He is still pissed off. Witness, please state your... Yeah! Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there's room for me, too. Would you like... Who are you talking to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing, honest. Who's gonna guess the fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me to this hole? There's the CERN I was looking for. Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me. Just carry on with the proceeding as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What did you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in the snare. The relentless snare of law.
Gatto, you're such a boss.
And I'm the one that hauled you in. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, math boy. You didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird. Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Actually, I should probably do it like, of course, but perhaps you should give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Huh. Phoenix Wright. You's the one that set this up, didn't ya? You're gonna regret the day you ruffled the Tiger's fur. Hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. Mine's just gonna be down there the whole time. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business on December last year. Spent all of my time in the office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from my tender lender every single day. You want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. At last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, please. Ah! What is it? Please, witness, you've got to refrain from shouting like that. I don't know what kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna pay you $50,000, and you're gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you get tangled with the Tiger. Huh. I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute. That's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming in an urban jungle. Get on his bad side, it'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system. Fucking Judge Wright. Better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will now impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of a witness's testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under the desk already, would you, Maya? Then it's gonna cut to Mia, and she's just gonna bump her head in the table and be like, why the hell am I down here, Phoenix? Something like that. Alright, so no irrelevant test or pressing. Let's hear about that. Let's hear how irrelevant we're talking here. I don't buy that you haven't ever heard an incident that occurred at Tribulations. He's got a big mouth, right? He's trying to say I was on some mob hit? Is that what he's trying to say? Where's your proof then? Evidence, yeah. Well, for an attorney to make an accusation in court, he must have evidence. That's from loan sharks to lawyers a beginner guide, yeah? Ah, I see you're the studious type, Mr. Tiger. Very good. Why don't you ask him to represent you sometimes, right? Oh, what should I do? I'm gonna leave it. It's too dangerous to press things without knowing where they might end up. I better just focus on gathering information at the moment. Now then, Mr. Tiger, would you mind repeating your testimony from the beginning, please? My time and free, you hear? Just better remember that. If I miss that bus, someone's gonna pay. Oh. Well, to be fair, this isn't as bad as the testimony with Von Karma. Manfred Von Karma. That bullshit where literally just from pressing stuff, he'd take points off. Oh wait, I pressed the same thing again. God fucking damn it. Whoopsies. Well, I know what I want to do here. That's what he was saying earlier. Okay. Alright, not that. Okay, over here in the profiles, we got this nice little tiger statue that says, meet with the tiger on December 3rd. So we just have to press that somehow. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in the office. Really? Let's hear about that. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see his teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says. So that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. Oh, there he goes again. What the Tigre did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? I'm gonna press this one harder. Mr. Tiger, what you want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, Wright, and you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's not. No, it's essential that it be establishes the witness's alibi accurately.
I agree.
The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you say listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats waiting to do business for me. I ain't never seen that young kid before.
I do believe the witness's last statement was
Important.
Mr. Gado, if you could please add it to the
Court record. Mr. Tiger, the court asked you to add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let the animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The case he's talking about. I was never in that office before. I never saw that kid before. Oh, really? Well, mind explaining why you have an office thing that says meet with the Tiger. Mr. Tiger? Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note in his calendar. Meet with the Tiger. Dated December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigre, I submit you do know, indeed, a one Mr. Glenn Elg. That was terrible, how I rearranged that sentence, but oh well. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Not bad. He's actually not bad. Sorry. I was just messing with you to see how good you were. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I could do without. Plus he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You just call me a liar? Is that what you're doing? Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh.
Fucking judge. So you're saying you've claimed to have never seen the kid before. Is that the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. Oh god. He's pulling out the dark arts. Okay, just coffee. Got it. That is why you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre?
Oh yes, would you please indulge the court, witness?
You never actually met the victim. That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. Let's hear it. I ain't no lie. I never met Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tenderlander. I waited around for him, but he never showed. I ain't never, ever been to that Tribulations joint. You hear me? I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but you didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you got a big deal down going today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you. Right? Oh. I ain't no lie. I ain't never met Glen Elk. And yet, your name was written on the victim's calendar. Get the horse calendar out of my face. I'm the Tiger, not a lame horse, you porcupine. Tigers never eat horses like that for breakfast. No. Witnesses are permitted to eat evidence. Not that they ever would. Well, there was a case once, young laddies. Anyway, if you had never met... How do you explain the note he left? That's the second time today Phoenix has pressed more for information. That's pretty funny. That's very strange. According to the manager of the firm where the victim worked, December 3rd was the date he had to repay his loan. He wasn't due to discuss borrowing money, but repaying what he owed. Oh, yeah, maybe he was right. Whatever it was, I was going down at the beginning of December. So you did meet Mr. Alec then? Hey, Wright, yous maybe want to cool your jets for a sec. I set the meeting with the guy at my office tender letter. So your meeting wasn't supposed to be at Tribulations then? Why would I want to go to a dump like that? If I want to talk to my clients, I got an office decked out for the job. I got the best punching bag you've ever seen there. Not exactly a professional office you got there, you know? So you were in the office on the day in question. I waited around him, but he ain't never showed. He didn't show up. Huh. What do you think, Trite? Let's see. How does a dead man get from a French restaurant to a loan shark office? Ooh. I know this one. The blonde walked straight into the okay, now just shut up. And you yourself didn't go to Tribulations? What you trying to pin on me here? Why don't you come down to my office? We can chat about this thing my way, yeah? I got the best punching bag you ever saw in there. No need. I'm good, thanks. Listen up. I ain't got nothing more to say here except this. I ain't never been to that Tribulations joint, yes here? I really question that one. Never, not even once. Not even once. I was in my office that day, that went down. I didn't put no poison in no kid's coffee, capiche? Do you think he really didn't meet Glen Elk? Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy's behind the whole thing. So you mean the whole testimony he just gave was a lie? Of course. So we can't afford to give him time to think of ways to plug the leaks in. Bleh. I've got a nail, but I still can. And I can do just that, Phoenix. Don't you worry about it. You ever been to Tribulations, huh? How do you explain your matches you got there? Mr. Tiger, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What you talking about? We found them in your office at Tenderlander. They're from that restaurant. If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? I love how we call matches like matchbooks. It's such a weird name. Like, why do they call it matchbooks? I guess because you gotta open them up and like pull the thing. Like, are they called match pages? I have no idea. You've been stupid around in my stuff too now, wise guy. Where are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Order. Well, witness. I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? Listen good, alright? Alright, listen good. I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. For the love of God, I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenn out that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. How many layers are you gonna lie your way through this one?
I was supposed to meet with a kid at a restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door at the joint, I saw one ugly scene. Guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't so hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cops' sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office.
I can reason with that. I would probably leave a situation if there was a dead guy on the table. I mean, if I was the only person there, I'd probably call the police, because there's a psychological effect to that. There was one person who was, like, assaulted and raped on the streets, and there were, like, about 15 witnesses from the windows, and no one called the police because they figured someone else would do it. It was wild. She was, like, screaming out there for an hour. It was ridiculous. Very, very good for psychological theory. Very, very terrible situation that happened. You can probably look that up. It's a real thing. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't never gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. No problem. Anytime Trike presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Gatto, that's my job. Oh, really? Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The Special Express ain't cheap, right? The Special Express? That sounds like that sounds like a douchey way of calling, like, the special needs vans that they drive to the schools. The Special Express. That's fucking terrible, but I love it. Just so you know, you just said she was paying. Oh, man. Doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? No. And it hasn't meant anything around here for many years, right? She has to get used to it. I think it was out the door with the 3-day court trials. Alright. Save again, even though we've actually been having a pretty good run here, but I don't want it to end just yet. I'll keep my saves up. In fact, I'll even keep a save state up. There we go. Again, I promise I'm not cheating. I'm just getting really lucky, or really, this is just a logical part for me.